everyone! It is officially the season for this new series that I have been planning for a little while. I am so excited to start the series, and I feel like I have been kind of teasing about it here and there, but now we finally get to actually go into it, and this is the official series, Reading Iconic Book Series, for the first time. Now, I specifically wanted to say iconic instead of classic because I do want to read some classic series this fall and winter, but I also am just reading more of like just iconic ones that aren't exactly classics yet. So I'm so excited. I have a multitude of different series on my TBR. I figured why not have some fun this last half of the year. I kind of also wanted to like steer this in the direction of I'm grateful that I'm reading this for the first time and I don't want to take it for granted, so I want to like see all my reactions and I want to document everything that I feel and that I see and how I react and everything like that. My sister is an avid reader and she had a pretty impressive catalog of books for the past like I don't even know, I mean growing up honestly, but she's been recommending these different series to me for so many years and I'm finally getting to them. I just didn't want to start these, they're mainly fantasy. I didn't want to start them in spring or summer because it just didn't feel right, and I prefer mood reading. I have been waiting to let them stack up and read them all in this last half of the year, so it's definitely going to be a heavy fantasy wrap up also by the end of the year. It's gonna be really fun to see that happen, and I am so excited to announce the first series I'm going to be reading for the first time, and it is Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. I have seen the Netflix adaptation of this series, but it was a very long time ago and it's very different from what the series is because they're combining Six of Crows and Shadow and Bone, so I already know that going into these books like I shouldn't be thinking back at the scenes of the show, and I don't really remember that much anyway, but I do know like the basic, I guess, plot twists that will happen, so it's just gonna be interesting going into the series with sort of a bigger picture or bigger idea of where this is going. In the show, all the characters are like very distinct, and so when I'm gonna be reading the series, I feel like I'm just gonna only be imagining those characters from the show, which isn't bad. I mean, I feel like they fit pretty well. But yeah, so if you have any iconic series that you have in mind and any iconic or classic fantasy-esque series that you want me to read, comment them down below. I have been itching to start this series. It's been 2 days of no reading or listening to books, and I have been wanting to like start the video, but I've just been trying to let myself like actually make it with quality instead of just turning on the camera, not caring about anything and just like starting the series. But I want this to be very official, so I have been waiting 2 days to read the first book in Shadow and Bone. So I have these editions of the Shadow and Bone trilogy. I have been wanting to get like a different edition, but I feel like this is really sweet, and I don't know if this is the indie cover of it or not. Yeah guys, there's so much story in these that I have yet to discover, and I'm really excited. Like, I have no idea what goes on in here. That's pretty wild. I'm so excited. Okay, let's get started, guys. Hey guys, so it's Sunday right now today, and I finished Shadow and Bone. Ooh, like checking my Fable. Also, I got my hair, I did my hair like more blonde recently, and I'm actually really liking it. I had like a moment where I thought that I looked really weird and I couldn't like recognize myself, and it felt really bizarre to like look in the mirror and see like a full blonde, but I'm already like growing it out, and it's a little bit, you know, it's definitely new, but I think I really like it. And yeah, I don't know why, but it's a blonde fall. It's a blonde fall. Okay, I'm gonna try to do this fast because I have to feed my cats and I have to get going. Shadow and Bone, I started on August 29th and finished on September 5th. I don't remember if I mentioned anything about that, but basically I liked the book. I gave it a 3.5. I'm gonna read the blurb because I just wanted to like say what the book is about and what the series is about, and I'm about to start Siege and Storm. I've started it like I don't even know when, probably like the next few days I started it, but anyway. So follows the main character Alina Starkov. This entire book kind of has Russian roots and Russian folklore. Even just different Russian words are mentioned a lot in this book. Alina Starkov is a soldier who knows that she may not survive her first trek across Shadow Fold, a swath of unnatural darkness crawling with monsters. But when her regiment is attacked, Alina unleashes dormant magic not even she knew that she possessed. Now, Alina will enter a lavish world of royalty and intrigue as she trains with the Grisha, her country's magical military elite, and falls under the spell of their notorious leader, the Darkling. He believes Alina can summon a force capable of destroying the Shadowfold and reuniting their war-ravaged country, but only if she can master her untamed gift. As the threat to the kingdom mounts and Alina unlocks the secrets of her past, she will make a dangerous discovery that could threaten all she loves and the very future of a nation. And now that I'm on Siege and Storm, I'm not going to read the blurb because if you haven't read it, I feel like reading the second one is always like, oh, this person made it out alive, or oh, now that this person has conquered this person, you know, it's like always the second book to like spoil the first, obviously. I have been trying to read it and I got sick with a fever. It took me out for 6 days. Like, actually no, it took me out for 7 days, 8 days. It took me out for a long time, guys. I don't know what happened, but my immune system was like, I tried reading it and I am stuck on chapter like 10 or something. Never mind, I'm stuck on page 31, so we're kind of stuck. I don't know why. Also, within that week, we read the thriller by Frida McFadden, The Housemaid, and I gave it, I think, a 3.75, and it's really cool because I finished it in 2 days with my mom. Like, she would just tell me, like, let's read it, let's read it, let's read it. So having that insistence on reading it, like, anytime that we get to sit down, kind of made me feel like I could read a lot more than I do, because if I just truly sit down and, like, let myself read and let myself relax and get into these books more often, even if it's just, like, a chapter a day or a little bit a day, you end up reading so much quicker, and it feels really nice. And yeah, it just feels really freeing in a way. I don't really know how to explain it, but anyway, so I got stuck after that on Siege and Storm. Like, I don't know why. The fantasy is a little bit hard to get into, and I don't know why. I think it's because I watched the show Shadow and Bone, and the first book I remembered every scene from the show as I was reading, so I was like, okay, I do remember a lot more than I thought I did. Still, I don't think I know what happens next. I don't think I watched the show that far. So I think that kind of put me off, where I was like, I think I've seen this film before. All that being said, I am getting the audiobook now because I have to clean and I have to multitask, and I feel like that's going to be an easier way to get through the book. And I'll pick it up and read, like, physically if I have time, or if I have like a moment to spare, or if I want to annotate. I'm gonna go get the audiobook and we're gonna start cleaning and doing some stuff. So I will update you guys next time I see you. Hey guys, so it has been a little minute. I don't have much time to talk about this. Also, please don't mind all the scurrying in the background. The cats are having crazy zoomies right now, but nonetheless, we are balancing on a tomato tray right now, or like a little box of tomatoes and a box of cat cookies for people from Trader Joe's. So this is just a quick little pop-in. I have finished the Shadow and Bone trilogy and I absolutely loved it, but I listened to all of it. So I started by reading Shadow and Bone, and I think I updated you guys along the way how it was just really hard for me to sit down and actually read it because I was really sick, and every time that I started to read I would just fall asleep because my body was so tired. And then even after I got better, long story short, my mom got a hip surgery replacement, or like a hip replacement done, and along with my dad, I am like one of her main helpers, and that also, well, now there's people outside banging on something. And along with my dad, I am it's so funny. Okay, I'm sorry guys, this is so chaotic, but we might just have to let it happen. So I'm one of her main helpers, and that kind of like entails just taking care of the whole house. With this like shift in our life, it's just been like a lot of work for the family. So with that being said, I thought that it would be best to have like an audiobook for all these things, and so I did end up listening to the entire trilogy. So I also felt kind of bad because this is like my first video in this series, and I guess I'm just like still getting the hang of it because it's not exactly like what I was envisioning. I wanted it more to be like a reading vlog style, and also like a spoiler review at the end, just because some people, I want this to be tailored for two audiences. One audience is who hasn't read the series yet and just wants to see like my reactions and see what it is to read it, and then the other side is people that have already read it, watching the video and then seeing my actual thoughts about it with all the spoilers included. It's just a fun conversation. So I am sorry that I did not get as much like content and as much footage that I wanted to get of me actually reading, or even just my reactions and listening to it. I wanted to pick up my camera so many times, but like, again, it's just been so busy in my life. Like, everything has been so go, and I just couldn't justify, or not even justify, I just couldn't like get myself to go get my camera, set it up, and stand in that exact same spot waiting for waiting for a reaction if it comes. So yeah, it's just been kind of busy. But so like for my next video, for like the next series that I'm gonna start, I do want to implement more camera time and actually read the series now, like the next one, because I feel like it's just harder in general to get your reactions and like everything like that when you're listening, because it just goes by so quickly. Especially I did it all on Audible, and it was really nice, and it was just really fast because I listened to books on 1.8 speed on there. It like literally just flew by like that, and next thing I knew, it was interesting because it took me, I think, I want to say 3 days to finish Shadow and Bone. I think it was actually 4 days for Shadow and Bone, because we were just doing so many things, and then 3 days for Siege and Storm, and then literally it took me like 1 whole day plus like a little bit of the next day to finish Ruin and Rising. So yeah, I do need to go though, and I will tell you guys all my thoughts and stuff when I come back. So I'll see you guys later.
Okay, hey guys, I am editing at the moment, and for the people that do not want spoilers for this book review, here you go. I figured I would just add like a quick little review, because obviously we all know that I did not film anything, and I did not really like document the whole process like without the spoilers and stuff. So here we go. I loved the last 2 books of this series the most. The first one is pretty slow. You are doing a lot of world building, but it is still like it resembles the show a lot. So if you have like seen the show, I still recommend the first book, but again, like we get most of the reveals of a lot of things in the first book, so you should be like kept on your toes. And I would say it's more for like a young adult demographic, like definitely coming from adult fantasy, like this felt a little slower, and it felt a little bit, I don't want to say it was less deep or anything, it was just a little more palatable than like adult fantasy tends to be. And so that's what I really enjoyed about this. I feel like if you're not in a book slump like I am currently, you should eat this up. Then we have Siege and Storm. Again, I really liked this one. Yeah, so like I said, Siege and Storm was a 3.75, and then Ruin and Rising, I did not mention, I wanted to rate a 4-star because just the way everything wrapped up and the way that things ended was very interesting. Like, this is the book that I was kind of waiting for, and it was like the drop I was waiting to happen. The drop that I was waiting for happened, but it was not even like something I could really predict, and I really didn't think that some of the plot twists would actually happen. So if you are on the fence about reading the series, I recommend it completely. But again, it is a little bit slow. I don't know what other people have said about it, but that's just my personal opinion. So again, I am sorry that I did not get much footage or much content and much talking about the books like this, but in my next video, I'm going to kind of control it a little bit more and like do more of the talking as well. So that is it for my spoiler-free review.
So I do realize that I did kind of promise that I would talk about what I liked about Shadow and Bone, and this is I am going to include spoilers here. So if you haven't read the books and you don't want spoilers, this is your official warning. But if you have and you're interested to see what I liked about it and what like exactly I thought about it, then here we go. So we start with Shadow and Bone, and we have Alina and Mal, and as they're going on their journeys and stuff like that, as they're trying to remember exactly what already happened. Honestly, it's already been like I think a week since I finished the books, and I'm like trying to remember exactly what happened, which I guess that's also kind of a telltale sign. But the first book was kind of like the entire time I had watched the show Shadow and Bone beforehand, like years ago, and literally like the difference in casting for the movie versus casting for the book threw me off so much, and I feel like that shouldn't be fair to like judge the book because of that, because the show happened after the book. Since the show happened after the book, I feel like it's not fair to judge the book because of like what the show did. Felt like the characters themselves, like in my mind, they were stuck as the people from the show, and it just felt really weird because because it makes me want to ask, why did we not cast somebody with Russian, like with those features, and why weren't we included in it? Like, if you want to make everybody feel included and you're taking a book and making it into a movie, my question literally is, why did you take these Russian characters and change them? Like, was there something wrong with the Russian like look about it? Was there something that you didn't want to put out on the big screens? Is there a reason why you didn't want to? So that was just kind of my question the entire time. I'm going to disregard that as much as I can for now so that we can just kind of talk about the actual book. So the first book meets the Darkling and they have like a whole moment. He like seduces her and stuff like that. Well, yeah, at least he tries. And my ick with Alina Starkov is like, girl, why was it so easy for him to manipulate her? Which I know that that is the whole point. Like, it was the whole point for her to be easily manipulated into that, because she's put into a position where she's never had power before and she's been so lowly in her life, and Mal has never seen her, and now to be put into the center of attention with like the Darkling known, like before he showed who he really was, it's like the Darkling and all his power, he sees her and it's like, why her? I do see like why there was appeal. For me, I realized also I'm not a fan of like when the antagonist or like the evil person of the book does the thing I like to call the Doofenshmirtz confession. So like she asks him like, why would you do this? Why are you doing this? And he just lays out his entire plan, and it's like they just tell you literally everything that they were trying to do in their entire plan and forward, like moving forward. He's like, yes, I am actually 500 years old and I am the evil guy and I made that and it's all a lie and da-da-da, this is my mother, by the way. And it's just like, I just don't really love when like shows, movies, and or books do that, and I just find it really like ick. But these were Leigh Bardugo's first books apparently. Like, that's crazy. Hold on. When did you? Yeah, that's crazy. So Shadow and Bone was Leigh Bardugo's debut novel, so that is very impressive still. I did end up giving the book, I think, a 3.5 or 3.75 on my Fable app. I also have, I think I do have it linked. If you do want to follow me on Fable, I do have it linked. And if not, if I don't have a link, I will make sure it is. But I ended up, yeah, I gave it a 3.5 stars and I didn't write anything down for it. But anyway, but everything still was really cool to me, and everything, like the story, and I love the fact that we use Russian words but with English letters. I wanted a quick reminder of how Shadow and Bone ended, but the AI overview says that Mal decides to become a privateer named Sturmhond and sails away while Alina... Guys, don't trust the AI review because that's crazy. Mal did not become Sturmhond. That's wild. Okay, I don't remember how Shadow and Bone ended. I had a lot of fun with Siege and Storm. That's when we meet Sturmhound slash Nikolai, and he's like probably my favorite character from this series besides like Alina. I feel like Mal and his broodiness and just like his jealousy was a little bit, again, like it was a little bit predictable. It was a little bit shallow. It reminds me of like the Summer I Turned Pretty type of trope where you don't remember, like you don't care about her growing up, which is fine, but also like when you get to the age to like be dating and being in that world, you still don't care about her until she becomes important, and then you claim that you've loved her the entire time. I'm not a big fan of that, and for him to kind of like claim her right away, but she did want that, and that's it. Like, that's literally all she wanted, and so I do like the bond that they have, not want anything else but each other throughout the entire book, so that was really sweet. I literally loved the reveal that Nikolai did, like when he turned his face different, because I was like, okay, what could be happening here? Because after the first book, I don't remember anything from the show's POV, so these two books were the easiest to remember, and I was super surprised of how Nikolai revealed himself and how Alina was looking at his face and she's like, what is wrong with his face? Like, there's something that's just not quite right about his face. And then when he revealed himself, like, I thought it was really fun and cool, and I loved his character. I loved his motives. I think Leigh Bardugo really wrote everybody's motives really well. The Darkling, again, it's like, it was a little bit fuzzy for me as to motives, but I do like the backstory we have, and I do like the backstory we had with Baghra as well. I think I'd rate Siege and Storm a 4, Ruin and Rising also 4, because they're pretty equal for me. First one's 3.75. So first of all, amazing ratings for a debut series, debut novel. And Rising, I really loved the search for the Firebird, and I loved how Alina was feeling and ruminating on her morals in this book and how it was challenging her. She had a lot of self-reflecting moments where she was thinking, am I doing this just for power, or am I doing it to save Ravka? Am I doing this because I've never been seen before like this, or is it because I love Mal and I love the people that are with me? Also, I love the group that we've had, and I love the found family aspect in the last book specifically because it reminded me of Fourth Wing and Onyx Storm. Slowly find people that want to be on the same journey with you, and I love when that group becomes like a family and you've gone through so much with the whole group. I did love that as well for Ruin and Rising specifically. I love the journey that we went on, and then like the reveal that Mal is that was fun. It was confusing, but it was also like really well explained and really well done. I did not think that they would actually do it. I did not think that they would die for each other, but they did, and that makes it so much cooler and better. Obviously, like with main characters, you know that they will always come back. I'm already excited to start and finish Six of Crows because I want to read Nikolai's story and what comes after that and what are the like consequences of becoming that. Yeah, when Mal actually did decide to do it, I loved the journey they went on again. Like I love when a group of people become like a family and they start going like to places and trying to in search for something, and they just become like a family, and I love it so much, and they go through so much together. I was talking about that they become like a found family, and I love that about the books, and I love the fact that there was so much sacrifice happening and there was so much challenging your own mind and challenging your morals and what you really think and what you really would do for the people you love. And I love that fact that after everything with the Darkling, Alina was able to like overcome that. She would rather lose her powers but save Ravka at the same time just to be with the people she loves and with the person she loves, aka Mal. My sister did say that some people did not like the ending, the fact that like they lost their powers entirely, and the fact that even Mal couldn't really be the tracker that he used to be, which that was really sad for me. Like I felt so bad for him because like, him as a tracker was just his like love and passion, and that was like he loved it so much. And obviously like now that we know it's because of his like descendants and because of his bloodline what happened, it does make you wonder, like was it actually his passion, or was it just because he was like born with that in his blood, and now that he doesn't have it, will he still have that like desire to do that and the desire to track? And same goes for Alina. I think it was the end of the book where she was like playing with the sunlight and she was just kind of like remembering the fact that like, okay, like I don't have this anymore, which I think was really cool. Like I haven't seen that be done ever yet in a book, and I feel like Leigh Bardugo specifically did that so that there would be a conversation of like, guys, do we like the fact that this ended unsatisfyingly, where everything doesn't just magically stay? I don't think I have any more notes. I think Leigh Bardugo is a genius. Don't have really much else to say. I am going to be starting Six of Crows, so I'm going to be posting that soon as well, so keep an eye out for that. So yeah, thank you for watching the first video in my Reading Iconic series for the first time series. I also just wanted to say a quick thanks because we hit 300 subscribers, and I'm so surprised, and I can't believe that 300 people like care to actually subscribe and care to actually follow along with me. And I feel like we're really starting to create a community on here. It just feels really intimate, and I love it, and it's really fun, and I feel like I'm slowly starting to find people that understand books the way I do, love the books that I do, and I can't wait to have like different conversations and stuff. So yeah, if there are series that you're thinking I should read that are like iconic to you and iconic just in general, let me know down below. Other than that, I gotta go read. Bye!